Welcome to Health Club with Julia. I'm your host, health coach, and registered dietitian, Julia Campagna. I'm on a mission to bridge the gap between looking your best and living your life to the fullest. After years of over dieting, struggling with disordered eating, and destroying my social life, I finally found how to reach my dream physique without sacrificing the things I love. Now I'm sharing all my strategies and education with you. We'll be talking all things health, including hormones, metabolism, and lifestyle to help you cut out the confusion and start living. So get cozy and join the club. Hello, welcome back to another episode of the Health Club with Julia podcast. As always, I'm so happy you are here. I feel like today's episode is going to be a little bit of a quick one. I'm going to do like rapid fire stuff here, but I think that it is worthwhile talking about, and I can go into a longer, more in-depth podcast episode related to any of these topics that I'm going to talk about if you're interested in hearing more on any of the topics today. Please leave a comment and or DM me on Instagram and just say you want me to go more in depth, because I totally can. But these can be totally different podcast episodes and be quite lengthy. So today I'm just going to kind of rapid fire give you some information here so that you're a little bit more educated on this topic. So I want to talk about side effects that you should know that are important when it comes to hormonal birth control. These are related to physical, mental, emotional side effects, and again, I'm going to kind of rapid fire them. It's not going to be too much in detail, so again, if you want me to go into it, let me know. But I think what we need to kind of talk about first before we go into these side effects is understanding why somebody is using the hormonal birth control in the first place. And I say this for a reason, but what is the reason for the person on it? Is it pregnancy prevention? Is it for period symptoms? Is it something else? Why are you using it? And I say this because about 58%, there's a study, 58% of women are using hormonal birth control for things other than pregnancy prevention. So whether that is something like endometriosis or just period problems, maybe they have like a heavy flow, or they have an irregular cycle and they want it to be regular, or they have cramps. Whatever the case is, about 58% of women are using it for something non-pregnancy related. And so I want to address that first, because again, if you are in that boat where you're not using it for pregnancy prevention, there are a lot of other methods and things that you can do to help your body without going on the hormonal birth control. So many different lifestyle, diet situations, supplements that you can take to help. A lot of different things that you can do to implement in your life to help with that don't include going on hormonal birth control. And even for pregnancy prevention, now I get this can come with a sense of security, and just like you might, what's the word I'm thinking of? You might just like gravitate towards that more because of, again, that security net. However, I do want to mention that there's a lot of manual error that comes with hormonal birth control. You forget to take the pill, you take it at the wrong time, whatever the case is, that can cause people to get pregnant even if they are quote unquote using it. So it's always good to have a secondary method here, or just like learning how to prevent it naturally. Even if you still want to use birth control, again, I'm not here to say use it or don't use it. That is not what this episode is about. That's not what I am about. I am totally for pro-choice and like you do what you need to do with your own body. I am also pro-education and having resources to know what is the best decision for you. So again, if it's just pregnancy prevention, again, know that there's some risks with that. But again, even if you're using it, you should learn how to track naturally so that when you do come off of it, you know what to do, and or you just have a secondary method, because again, it is not foolproof, birth control. Yes, it is meant to help prevent that, but it's not foolproof. So really understand why somebody's using it, or you're using it if you are on it and listening to this episode, because I just think that you should kind of really understand that first and foremost and know what your options are. And again, I'm not here to tell you if you're on it to get off of it. By all means, stay on it if you feel better staying on it. I am here to support you if that is what you are wanting to do. But if you're thinking about it, if you're on the edge and you're like, I don't know, understand why you're on it in the first place and what you need to do if you come off of it to support whatever problem you had when you went on it, if that makes sense. Now, anyway, back to gonna rapid fire these things. I want to talk about some side effects that happen with hormonal birth control use, starting with more of the like physical. I guess the first one I want to talk about is nutrition related, so it kind of falls under physical, I guess. But birth control causes nutrient deficiencies. And so obviously nutrients are needed in the body for different functions, lots of different functions in the body. And so if you're not getting enough of these nutrients, if you're not able to absorb these nutrients as much, you can run into more problems in the future related to nutrient deficiencies. So the main ones that we see are deficient from hormonal birth control use are B12, folate, B2, B6, so basically in a nutshell your B vitamins, zinc, selenium, magnesium, CoQ10, vitamin C, and vitamin E. These ones are major ones that we see that are depleted when using hormonal birth control. So we need to understand again, what is going on in the body? Get your annual labs tested, get your vitamin B tested, get your vitamin D tested. Really kind of take a better look at your health as a whole and understand also in your diet, are you getting enough nutrients in your diet? If you're not and you're on hormonal birth control, you're probably more at risk of having these nutrient deficiencies. If you're getting these in your diet, you're doing the best that you can to support your body while on it, and that's all you can really ask for. But I'm going to give you some food sources and or supplements that you can prioritize while you are taking it, if you are staying on it and or if you are currently on it and just don't want to come off. And even if you do want to come off, I always with my clients do protocols before they come off to support the body so that transition's a little bit easier. So even if you were like, I am going to come off, I would start implementing more of these things, even if you're on it and want to come off. Don't wait until you're off, just like start doing it now. But first thing I would say is consider a multivitamin or a prenatal. Those are going to encompass a lot of these nutrients that we need. So multivitamin or a prenatal are really beneficial. Also adjust your diet. So I do want to mention diet is so important. I don't want to ever just like cover up something with a supplement. For me or my clients or anybody else, you should be having a diet first approach. But some nutrients are a little bit harder to get than others, so that's where again I say a multivitamin or a prenatal can be really beneficial here. But also we need to adjust the diet, which I'll talk about in a minute. You also want to consider testing, nutrient testing, before and after starting post-birth control therapy. So while you're still on it, yes, I would suggest getting tested. I have had some doctors say, it's not necessary, you're on birth control, so why would we do that? We want to see where the body's at. If you're depleted fully of your B vitamins, okay, we really need to take action now. You don't necessarily need to wait. So I would get nutrients tested before you come off of it, and then also after, as some therapy and some support after birth control, get testing done again afterwards to see, okay, now we're done with the birth control, where are our levels at? So I would consider that as well. But talking about diet, let's go over those main ones that I had mentioned. So vitamin B12, where is this found in the diet mostly? So again, we want to add some more of these into our diet. So beef, organ meats are great for B vitamins. Unfortunately, a lot of people don't have organ meats like liver, that kind of stuff. So you can get organ meat in the form of a supplement, or what I like to do as well is look for like ways that you can hide it in your meals. So meatballs, stews, things like that. You can hide it in there. It doesn't really taste like anything really. There's also a brand, and I can't for the life of me remember right now what the name of the brand is. But there's a name of a brand that makes meatballs with organ meat already in it. Like you don't have to go and make the meatballs. It's like a freezer type of meatball, but high quality nutrients, and they use organ meat in it. And I don't know what the brand is, so I'll have to figure that out and put it in the show notes. But do something like that. Also clams, oysters, these are really great sources as well. Now folate. Nutrients or foods that are high in folate. Lentils, asparagus, spinach are all great. Eggs are great as well. Get some more of those in. Vitamin B2, eggs, almonds, and salmon. Get more of those in. Vitamin B6, salmon, turkey, avocado. So some of these overlap, which is great. So if you're getting in one food, you're probably going to get in multiple kinds of vitamins. But zinc, oysters are like your top source of zinc. Unfortunately, again, I don't feel like a lot of people eat oysters. That's why whenever I go out and there's oysters on menu, I won't say I always order oysters, but if oysters are either ordered by somebody else at the table or I see it on the menu, sometimes I'll be like, you know what, I'm going to have some of those because I don't eat them a lot and they're really great for zinc and I'm going to get them in. So get your oysters in. If you like oysters, have them when you're out to eat. Getting your zinc in. Pumpkin seeds are also great, and so is beef. Selenium, seafood is great. Brazil nuts are like a top source of selenium. Just 1 to 2 Brazil nuts has your recommended amount of selenium. So if you just have 1 to 2 of those a day, you're getting your selenium in, which is great. And then pork is also good for that. Magnesium, brown rice, cashews, and fish are all good sources. And then CoQ10, beef, fish, and chicken are all good sources. Again, a lot of these overlap, so just having a wide variety of different protein sources, fruits, vegetables, whole grains, getting a lot of those in your diet is ideal to hit multiple areas here. But these are things that are depleted that we need to restore. Whether you're on it still or coming off, you need to be replenishing these in the body and supporting your body of these vitamins and minerals. So other physical symptoms that you may experience are things like IBD, IBS. So a lot of gut and digestive issues can come from hormonal birth control. I know firsthand from own experience, I did experience this a lot. I am someone that has always, even as a baby, had some digestive issues. I don't remember, but my mom always tells me like I would vomit often, like violently when I was a baby, and I had a distended stomach when I was a baby, and she like went to the doctors and they didn't know what to do when I was a baby. So like I always had stomach issues, but when I got on birth control, it wasn't until like a couple months to a year in, and I was young when I got on it, so I wasn't really paying attention to it. But as I entered college, I was like, you know what, I'm like so bloated all the time. What is this about? And when I came off of it, that's one of the biggest things that I noticed changed in me. I felt so much better digestion-wise coming off of it. Now, there was other reasons. I mean, I had an eating disorder that does throw off digestion as well. So, like, there's other things that cause digestive issues for me, but I know from experience coming off of it, one of the major things that was like a forefront of the changes I noticed was digestion improving. So yes, it can cause digestive issues. It can cause things like IBS, IBD. So those are things you want to be aware of. It can also cause skin and hair issues. So rashes, things like that, eczema, different hair issues. There can be a lot of different symptoms physically that happen from hormonal birth control. So again, I'm not going to go too far into this. I'm just rapid firing this episode, but I can go more into these in another episode in the future. But mood, I also wanted to talk about the emotional, mental side of birth control. I think it's kind of common now that we all understand that there's some level of cognitive change, mental change that happens with birth control, but I want to just touch on it a little bit because I don't know that everybody knows how severe it can be. Now, a big key here that we need to talk about is that hormonal birth control does not cause mood disorders. Based on current research, it's not a cause. Research only states that there is a correlation. So with that, we can take the correlation and people's symptoms and kind of figure out that it is directly related. Not everything has a cause in research, but again, if majority of people have these symptoms and are experiencing this when they go on it, then we can kind of just gear towards, okay, it's most definitely related to it. So I wanted to just highlight that. But hormonal birth control is associated with depression and anxiety. A study has shown that women using oral contraceptives before 20 years old, which I feel like a lot of women go on it before 20 years old, they had a 130% higher rate of depressive symptoms. 130%. That is really high. So, again, just goes to show how harsh this can be in terms of mood disorders. We cannot say it causes it at this point, though. I do want to stress that. But there's definitely a possibility from studies that we do have, from correlation, from symptoms that we've gathered. There's definitely a possibility that it is causing this, but as of now, we just know that it is a correlation. However, again, I want to just put those numbers out there because make your best estimated guess here. But here is where continued monitoring is really, really important. It's really important to monitor how someone is feeling, their mood, how it changes throughout the course of birth control, because that is kind of what people use as a red flag marker of mood stuff. And if you're having really, really severe symptoms and you're on it, I would suggest, or at least consider, getting off of it and seeing how you feel off of it, because it's no joke. Depression, anxiety is no joke, and again, we're seeing these higher numbers of it with people on birth control. Again, not a cause correlation, but there's a really good probability that it's directly related to each other. So I just wanted to note that. Again, this could be an entire long episode. I'm not going to go into that too greatly, but I do want to just bring that to light. And even just saying that in and of itself, I feel like can get the wheels turning and understand, okay, it's probably related to mood disorders. But those are just some main things I wanted to address. Nutrient deficiencies, GI digestive issues, and mood issues. These are all symptoms that people experience while on it. And again, I'm not here to say go off of it, don't be on it, why would you start that? I am not at all. I am very supportive of people who are like, you know what, I'm still going to stay on it. Okay, that's great, but how can we support your body? That is the biggest takeaway here. Know how to support your body if you're going to stay on it. And so, what helps heal? What helps to heal the body with all of these different things? Nutrition, I went over those. Add in more of those foods to your diet. Take a multivitamin or a prenatal if you need to. Just because you don't, even if you're not looking to get pregnant right now, prenatals are great in the nutrients that are in them, so take them. So nutrition helps to heal. Sleep helps to heal. Very important one that gets overlooked, especially in today's society. Community. Having people to talk to, not being isolated, having a sense of community is really, really important as well. Exercise. The right amount of exercise is really helpful in healing the body. We need to be moving every day. It does not need to be super long or super intense, but have some sort of general movement every day. And self-care, making sure that you're taking care of yourself, setting boundaries, and sticking to those boundaries, saying no more often, filling up your cup in any way possible. These are the core pillars that helps your body heal. Community, sleep, nutrition, self-care and or stress management, and exercise. So make sure that you are adding all of these things to your lifestyle and figuring out if there's any area that needs more support in any of these pillars. But make sure that you are locating all of these things and understanding where you're currently at and where you need to be in terms of supporting your body. So again, this is just to shed some light on some symptoms that are associated with birth control. Not here to tell you what to do, just here to support you and help your body throughout the process. If you have questions on any of this stuff, anything related to hormonal birth control, any symptoms that you might be experiencing yourself and or other people might experience, or any question on anything related to hormonal birth control in general, let me know. If you want me to go into more depth with any of these things, let me know. Comment, DM me. I'm here for you guys. That concludes my quick rapid fire episode. I'll see you guys next time.
Thank you so much for listening to another episode of the Health Club with Julia podcast. If you loved the episode, share the podcast and tag me, and subscribe so you don't miss any further episodes. If you have any questions, feel free to send me a DM. Thanks for being a part of the club. See you next time.